for the Horsehead Central School District Board of Education for the start of the 2020-2021 school year. At this time, I'd ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As this is being done remotely, a live video streaming service is being provided by Board Docs under the executive orders of the Governor of the State of New York. In addition, for the interest of transparency, we will also post this to our website for those that are unable to be with us during this time of remote meetings and structure. At this time, I would ask for number 3, the oath of offices for newly elected board members, of which we have Brian Lynch, Warren Conklin, Thomas Casey, and Najib Raymond, to be sworn in by the district clerk, Nancy Perillo. So Nancy, it's all to you. Nancy, you'll need to unmute yourself.
I'm going to come in here if you don't mind.
Okay. She's having difficulty.
So I'm having technical difficulties. So first of all, we're going to do the re-elected members, Brian Lynch and Warren Conklin. So if you just raise your right hand and just repeat after me. I do solemnly affirm.
I do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of board member of the Horsehead Central School District
of office of board member of the Horsehead School District
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Thank you very much.
Welcome again to the board.
And welcome back. Yay. We have 2 new board members, Thomas Casey and Najib Raymond. So if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly affirm
I do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of board member of the Horsehead Central School District
of the office of board member of the Horsehead Central School District
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the board.
Welcome to the board. Yay.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to move on to number 4, and I will turn it over to the senior board member, Mr. Brian Lynch, who will ask for nominations for the position of board president.
So I'll open it up tonight for nominations for school board president this year. If there is any. Dan?
Thanks, Brian. I would like to nominate Christine Dale for the position of board president for the 2021 school year.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Any other nominations? Okay, thank you, everybody. So I think at this point we need a motion to close the nominations. Can I have a motion to close the nominations?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Thank you. Now we will vote for Christine Dale. All those in favor say aye.
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 Raise your hand, please. Thank you. Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Congratulations, Christine.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Now, Christine, I'll ask the district clerk to administer the oath of office for the newly elected board president. Nancy, here she comes.
All right, come again. Isn't this fun, you guys? I'm just like back and forth. Okay, Christine, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, raise your right hand. I do solemnly affirm
I do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of President of the Board of Education
of the office of President of the Board of Education
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now, Christine, I turn the meeting over to you at 4.04.
Okay. All right. So this is a little nerve-wracking. So please let me know if I misstep. So I'd like to open it up for nominations for Board Vice President. Are there any nominations? Dan?
I nominate Brian Lynch for Vice President.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other nominations? Okay, so with that, I'll ask for a motion to close the nominations for Board Vice President.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, great. So all those in favor of Brian Lynch for Board Vice President, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, great. Well, congratulations, Brian Lynch. Here comes Nancy.
I'm back. Okay, Brian, Tom's, he's just shaking his head. Okay, he's so pleased with his hire. I mean, come on. All right, so Brian, congratulations, and raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the Vice President of Education to the best of my ability.
of the office of Board Vice President, the Board of Education to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So now we'll move on to 5, which is the appointment of District Clerk and Deputy District Clerk for the 2020-2021 school year. So can I have a motion to open the vote for 5.02 Nancy Perillo as District Clerk and 5.03 Candy Main as Deputy Clerk?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, great. All those in favor of 5.02 and 5.03, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, great. So congratulations, Nancy and Candy. So now we'll move to item number 6, and Dr. Douglas will administer the oath of office for both Nancy and Candy.
And at this time, Candy, will you unmute yourself, please? Do you have your oath in front of you, Candy?
No.
Okay. If you'll repeat after me, please. Raise your right hand. I do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Deputy Clerk of the Horsehead Central School District
of the office of Deputy Clerk of the Horsehead Central School District
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Another year.
Thank you.
Nancy, if you could unmute. I don't know why she didn't just come back through the door.
Can't do it. All right. There.
Now, the easier part is please raise your right hand and read the oath of office. Thank you.
No, you had to read it to me. You read here.
Oh, my goodness.
There. All right. Go ahead.
We're trying to make this a 1-hour meeting.
You just-
Okay. Please raise your right hand.
Okay.
I do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of
District Clerk
District Clerk
of the Horsehead Central
of the
School
Horsehead
District
Central School District
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
Thank you. Congratulations.
You gotta shake my hand.
Oh,
Okay, thanks. All right,
oh
bye.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. We've got to get back in person.
Hand sanitizer now.
I'm looking for some, but I trust her right now. Let's see.
Okay.
That completes that.
So moving on to 7, the oath of office for the superintendent. So Candy?
Are you ready, Dr. Douglas?
Yes.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of superintendent of schools according to the best of my ability.
I do.
Congratulations.
I like the way you think, Candy.
Sign here.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure when you get the chance, we have to file the actual affirmed signatures and notary within 30 days of taking the oath. So anytime you can, either print it out, mail it back, or return it back to Nancy. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on to item number 8, appointment of the officers for action. We have 8.02 to 8.07 for treasurer, deputy treasurer, tax collector, alternate tax collector, claims auditor, and alternate claims auditor. So I'd like to open it up for a motion for vote.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so any discussion on any of these? Okay, so all those in favor of 8.02 through 8.07, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 9, for other appointments for action, we have 9.02 all the way through 9.36. I'm not going to read all of these, but I'd like to open it up for a motion to vote.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussions on any of these from 9.02 through 9.36? Warren?
So 9.02, 9.03, 9.04, 05, 06. I just need an explanation. What's the difference between being the chief faculty advisor and being the principal of the school or the assistant principal of the school or being the chief faculty advisor of athletics versus being the AD? I don't understand. I
Katie,
mean, sarcastically, if we don't approve those appointments, they still remain as principal and assistant principals, don't they? So I guess I just don't understand the difference.
Yep, so these appointments are for the management of the extracurricular clubs. The chief faculty advisors have typically been the principals for the high school and the middle school. Bert for athletics, and they sign, they're the final sign off on all disbursement forms and provide the oversight to make sure the clubs are functioning as they should. We recently started appointing alternate faculty advisors in the event these people are out of the office or taking a vacation. The business of these clubs can resume and continue as normal and not have any lull while the main person is away from the office.
Thank you, that makes sense.
Okay, any other questions, Dan?
Thank you. Just a quick question on 9.13, maybe for Katie, in regard to the legal counsel appointment of Hogan Starzinski, which, I fully support, but my recollection is in the past, we would typically appoint Hogan and then I think a second firm, sometimes Sales Evans, and I'm just wondering, is that a change? Are we now going exclusively with Hogan, or might we still, is there some difference by the fact that there's just one being proposed here as opposed to in years past when we had two? That's the question.
Yeah, so you're right. Typically, we have had two. The drop of Sales Evans happened during the course of this year as part of a conflict when they were trying to represent another party in a tax cert matter. We weren't in a position to sign a waiver. They opted to remove us as clients so they can continue to represent the other client. So we have parted ways. Hogan Starzinski is our main counsel. In my realm, anyways, Sales and Evans typically handle the tax certs. That's all been transferred to Hogan Starzinski.
And I recall that issue now. Thank you for that.
Yep. You're
But-
welcome.
And I think Sales and Evans used to also assist us with litigation from time to time. So to the extent we had a need for some counsel in connection with particular litigation, and if Hogan Starzinski couldn't support us, we'd have the ability to hire counsel as needed?
Yes, we would. We actually are going to be looking out over the course of this year to make sure we acquire a secondary counsel.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, so all those in favor of 9.02 through 9.36, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 10, our designations. We have 10.02 through 10.04. So we have our official newspapers, the official depositories for district funds, and our school board memberships. So open up for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Say nay. And any abstentions? Okay, great. Moving on to item number 11, authorizations. Can I have a motion to open it up?
So moved.
Second.
So this is for items 11.02 through 11.16. So any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. And any abstentions? Okay. Item number 12, the bonding of personnel, items 12.02 through 12.09. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions or discussions on 12.02 through 12.09? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Item number 13, annual review and approval of specific board policies and exhibits. We have 13.02 through 13.09. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments on 13.02 through 13.09? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. And any abstentions? Okay. Item number 14, other items for action. We have 14.02 through 14.1. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any comments or questions from 14.02 through 14.10? I have one, just on the board meeting dates for for the upcoming year. I know already I have a conflict on August 20th because we'll be moving Tommy into Towson that day. So unless we're doing it via Zoom, I won't be available for that day. So, it's fine to continue with the meeting, but if there's an opportunity to move it, that would be helpful.
This would be up to the board if you wish to move it to the day before on Wednesday or keep it as is. All we do is put together the drafted calendar for the year. And then once it's approved by the board, this locks the board in without taking a resolution to change the future.
I may have a conflict 18th, 19th, so that would be tough for me early in the week, unless we switch to a different week.
Well, one of the things, Katie, could you weigh in just real quick on the tax warrant issue? Because there's some, I hate to say it, the tax warrant's sort of up in the air on the date that we could try to do. It would change the time of the Monday, August 10th to the evening and do the tax warrant then. But the problem is we may even have to change that date just because there's something going on with when they'll approve tax rolls.
Dr. Douglas, that actually has resolved itself. It doesn't look like any of the municipalities in our district are opting into that extension, so we should be okay.
So if we had to, we could move the whole meeting to that one day, which is August 10th. Or just keep it the same on the 20th, which is board policy.
I would vote to move it to the 10th, but obviously I'm biased there. So I'll go with whatever the rest of the board decides.
I can go to the 10th. It doesn't matter to me.
Would everybody be okay going Monday night at 6 o'clock on the 10th? Nancy, will you make that, as well as Candy, make that a note for the minutes? And then when we publish this, we'll publish the new dates once it's amended.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. Okay, any other discussion or questions from 14.02 through 14.10? All those in favor of 14.02 through 14.10, say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And any abstentions? Okay, so that takes us through all of the organizational business that we have. So I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn to our regular business meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. And any abstentions? Okay. So we will move to our business meeting. Just need to open it here for a second, sorry. Okay, everybody have a chance to open it up? Okay, so we'll start, I'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with item number 2, which is our minutes from our Board of Meeting back on June 18th. So any discussion, any questions about that? Or actually open it up for motion, sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any comments, changes needed, questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, next are agenda changes. I don't think we have any. Dr. Douglas, any? Okay. So now is the time where we'd open it up to the community for any questions or comments. And due to the fact we're live streaming, I think there's an opportunity to send in any questions or comments to you,
Well,
Dr. Douglas.
Yeah, they do not send them in right now, but we do
Okay.
remind them if they have any questions or comments, please contact the superintendent's office. I will return their call as soon as possible and get them their answers or share with them any comments that they have at the next available meeting.
Okay, thank you. We do not have a student representative right now, so we don't have a report at this time. No presentations tonight. So we'll move on to item 7, the superintendent report.
Thank you, Ms. Dale. Members of the Board of Education, as well as the community of Horseheads, there's a lot of things going on and we're in a hurry up and wait mode, unfortunately, here in regards to what are our future options for the 2020-2021 school year. Just so that the Board of Education knows, tomorrow there will be a press event with our local elected officials and several of the superintendents from the region asking for the governor to release guidance and trying to ask him also to return some control to the local levels, as basically we know what's going on here and trying to make him proud and meet the needs of our community. It's not meant as a negative towards the governor or government in anything. It's just that we cannot wait until August to put together plans. Our communities deserve as much advance notice as possible, and that we're hoping within the next week we will actually have the guidance, even though it was released today that we must submit our plans by July 15th, and yet we've received no guidance to submit those plans. The district is already looking at the worst case scenario because that's where we have to start, and we are planning on the fact that the worst case scenario that we know is 100% remote instruction. Will we be there? Will it be somewhere in the middle or in between over the course of the year? Or it will be full students returning in September? We just don't know. But one way or another, we have to pick up where we left off and try to refine that for our students. The one thing we know is the instruction will be much different this coming year than what we were rushed and haphazardly having to put together on a moment's notice for last year. Our teachers, our administrators, our parents, our families, our kids did the best they could during that situation. Now it's up to us with this summer to try to make it even better so that learning doesn't have a gap, but we start to reach to excelling even during remote instruction. So that's one of the biggest things. The board should be reminded that this Thursday morning, I think it's at 7:30, if I'm not mistaken, we will be offering a tour to the Board of Education to go through the recent construction at the high school, and we're primarily focusing on that. Although the middle school main parking lot's getting a new entryway currently at this time. It's been ripped up, and we will be taking care of that sort of double exiting of cars sort of going against each other at the middle school's north parking lot. Construction at the middle school is ongoing, but it's still just ramping up, but they are on track. And obviously at the high school, a lot of things are going very full bore right now. And it will be interesting for us to hear the board's take as they get more of the inside look at this point. And I know Sue is going to be taking pictures and everything so that we can post them online because there's been a tremendous buzz around people seeing some of the hard projects starting to come to light. It's still a ways away, but we wanted to give the board the best look at this point and make sure you understand that we're moving forward and hopefully keeping our economy strong and moving steadfastly forward for the community of Horseheads in the greater Southern Tier area. In general, all of our work is going to be on reopening over the next several weeks. Once we know more, we will try to update the board as quickly as we can. We just hope that we can get our students back as soon as possible and as safely as possible. But that decision is still, unfortunately, out of our hands. So that's what I have right now. We will be bringing forward most likely at the August meeting, the appointment of the student board rep. We were a little behind because of closure of that. They do have some individuals that have met the deadlines and submittals that I didn't even know that they were still going forward with. So they are working on that as well. And I also had to find out some of the parameters of which you can even be a board rep, which was very interesting. So we have to look at that going forward, but we should have that in August as well. In addition, at this time, just because I know we're working on curriculum, professional development, Tony, do you have anything to add on that for summer work?
Sure. We are continuing with summer work and summer curriculum work as usual. Well, as usual, being remote and working with our teachers remotely. But the work continues, and it's a good thing that we don't stop that work. We did have a hiatus with the March through June as far as the in-person, but we were picking it back up to hopefully get back on track with our timeline.
And the same goes in special education. We operate a full extended school year program. I'm going to turn it over to Kelly just because they have been really trying to expand that program this year. I know there's an expansion of that to who can do it, but unfortunately without the clear guidance to protect some of our more vulnerable student population, especially anyone with health concerns, we had to move away and do this remotely. So Kelly, would you like to talk about ESY?
Sure. So we have in the past run a face-to-face extended school year program, which is 6 weeks through July into mid-August for our students that were going to regress beyond 6 to 8 weeks, in which it would take them to gain their skills back when they left us in June. That typically has been our most severely impaired students, which are in special classes with a ratio of 12 students, 1 teacher and 1 teaching assistant. Given everything that has happened between March and June, we had some significant concerns that our students that were in the less intensive program, so students that are 15 students to 1 teacher in their classrooms, also would show regression. So for that reason, really in the best interest of students, we decided to expand the program to the students in the 15-1 classrooms as well. Which for us this summer, typically in the past, it's been about 4 classrooms. This year we have 12. And we have a really high response rate of parents that said yes to participating, even though we're continuing online. So that is definitely a benefit to our students. We also have a higher rate of students participating in the related services, which is OT, PT, and speech. Like Dr. Douglas had said, there was a turntail. We were supposed to be online, and then he said we could have services in person. However, there really were not the safeguards for our students and our staff to come in person that we felt we could keep everyone safe, distance, and well taken care of. So like I said, we did continue online. Since then, there has been updates and guidance from the state saying we can explore evaluations face-to-face with both us as a district and parents' approval. So we are looking at that as a possibility later in the summer with facilities and the district administration and families.
Thank you, Kelly. In addition, just in the HR department, I know Caitlin's been busy. We're probably in the best shape with all the retirements that we had at this point. I think at this point, Caitlin, if I'm not correct, we have roughly about 3, maybe 4 positions that we have to hire for, and then we're fully hired. The hard part is there's some difficult positions to hire. Caitlin, what are those?
Yes, the more difficult positions that we're struggling to attract candidates for are business, Spanish, and speech.
And we do think we have a line on a speech from a former employee coming back to the area. However, the Spanish and the business are being quite challenging, and we have 2 business openings. So we may have to look at some sort of different approaches. Otherwise, we would not be able to offer those classes, and that's going to be a hard situation to sell. In addition to hiring, we have a tremendous amount of food need over the summer, and I want to thank the board, but we are doing the Wednesday pickups for a week worth of food need for our individuals, and that's been going very well. Katie, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Like Dr. Douglas said, it's been going very well. Our turnout continues to be positive. Our bus drivers continue to be very helpful during this process and getting any food out to the pickup locations as well as any deliveries that are needed. So it continues to be a very positive program that we're able to help people with throughout the summer.
Was everybody else getting the reverb like I was?
Mhm.
Katie, you have a deep, froggy voice right now.
Sorry?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the big thing for the Board of Education is next week we will be putting out the committee volunteering and selecting for the wonderful Board of Education committees. Remember, except for Christine, every member of the board will get at least one seat on either the audit committee or the policy committee, because those are the mandatory committees of the board. Unless somebody wheels and deals like Marianne Holloran does to take other activities away from others. She definitely does not want audit and finance, I know that. So that will be coming out. Basically put down your top 3 or 4 choices. We've just got to figure it out, and then we'll try to match that up with what your requests are. Warren, as Doug was here and Dan's here, your number 1 request, of course, is policy. Or you can put number 3 as policy. That's true, but I have a good opinion that you're probably going to make that selection. But no, in all honesty, please let us know what really are some of your interests with the superintendent's committees, and then we'll go from there. I don't know how they're going to play out. A lot of them, even if we remove from remote meetings, we're probably going to continue a lot of remote meetings throughout this time until we get a better, clear bill of health for everybody. So just be aware of that. And then last but not least, just so that you know, across the state, organizations out there such as the New York State Physical Athletics Association, NISPA, is sort of getting out and saying what they're going to say we're going to do before they even get permission from us or the governor. That has caused some controversy because they even opened up schools for summer workouts, even though they didn't have the authority. That has been rescinded. We've always made it clear that there can be nothing going on with our sports programs. And that's sort of extended into field band as well. The New York Field Band Association won't make a determination. And this puts a lot of them, we have to tell them, we're trying to say, yes, we're going to participate, because sometimes they want us to say, no, just go out and tell us no. That way we can get the parents off of our back. I think it's not about the parents being on our back. It's just the parents want answers just like we do. But we have to say, we're trying to hold out the best hope for our students at this point, and we'll wait till either the state committees cancel things or the state says that we're back in school, and then we'll make our decision. But the pressure, we just need board members to let parents know as well. We're going to do what we have to according to the state rules and regulations, not any organization such as the field band or NISPA, because they really are not responsible for the kids. They're just the organization we pay fees to coordinate. So we have to be sort of the owner of our own destiny. And it's caused some of our, I mean, there's some times where some of our coaches are reaching out, and even our music department is reaching out and telling people, hey, you can do this to be part of our team. And it's wholly inappropriate at this point because we can't condone people gathering, whether it's for summer workouts, camps, or anything. Now, the question came up, how come we advertise like for the first tee and stuff? We have a community board, which anybody that comes to us, as long as it's a community activity, Sue has always posted them on our website so that we inform the community, hey, anybody can do it. It's a public service we provide. And what I would say is those programs that are interested in providing something to our students, as well as anybody else, do it in that format, but it should not be coming from our school personnel under our auspices or even our boosters that are under our cooperative ideal for nonprofit bearing, that they should not be sort of saying, well, you have to do this, or you might need to do this. It will help you when you try out for the team. All of that is a no-no. And it's not that we need leadership on it. This has been communicated, and this is our expectation. So Caitlin has been dealing with that with a couple issues. Most people are owning up to it, but they also want to take the, oh, I didn't know. Now they know, so we're hoping that this will put an end and not put pressure on kids one way or another that they have to go out and do something, because we've got to ensure our safety and health when they return, and that's what is our ultimate goal, is to get them to return. So I just wanted to let you know we're facing that, but we're trying to deal with it delicately, but still, it must be a hard and fast rule. We cannot condone or promote something for us. So that is my report. It was a little longer, but we'll go this time of the year, we go a little bit longer without seeing each other. Just wanted to make sure that you know what we're dealing with right now.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 8, board report. Obviously, I don't have anything, and we did not have an audit committee or policy committee report. So we'll move on to 9, our finance items for action. 9.02 through 9.1. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion or questions regarding 9.02 or 9.1? Through 9.1, sorry. Brian?
Christine, I have just one comment and then one question for Katie. So on 9.08, it's a Walmart settlement. So for the newer board members, when we have a reserve, a special reserve set aside at the board level to take care of possible real estate assessment changes. So if somebody wants to contest their assessment, they can. And we have to hold some money back just in case we have to pay that out at some point. So over the last 5 to 10 years, it's a pretty big account, anywhere from like 500,000 to about 1.5 million, depending on how many are currently active. I think it's a shade under $1 million now at this point. And this was one of the ones that was pretty large that was on the books, I believe. And, you know, to me, it looks like a good settlement for us because we don't owe the money the previous years, which is good. And Katie, your question, I have the numbers, but do you know how much money that would free up? Is that, I would assume that tens of thousands of dollars that we might be able to not have to pay Walmart in this particular case?
Yes, I believe it was around $140,000 total for the 3 years.
Great, so that's great. And we, for the newer board members, we don't true it up right now. We'll wait to see if there's any changes, you know, pluses or minuses during the year. But this, you know, it's good to get them resolved and get the list shorter. So it's nice to see these every once in a while that are finalized. So thanks for sharing it.
Warren?
To dovetail on that, does that mean the revenue we would lose in taxes this year would be roughly $50,000? Because the assessment went down a little over $1.1 million.
What happens, Warren, is when the assessments go down in a business category, it just resets the equalization rate across all taxes. So we don't lose revenue, it's just the share changes.
Warren?
I have 4 other questions in this area.
Okay, just keep going.
So on 9.06, the Siemens proposal, on page 11, there's the cost structure. And it looks like we're eligible for some sort of discount, but I don't know what RTEM stands for. So if I knew what that stood for, maybe I would know what the discount was.
Sure. So the exact meaning of the acronym is failing me right now, but basically it's a program that we're now eligible for with all the Siemens controls we have in our buildings. Given, I guess, the amount of controls we now have in our building, we're now eligible for a rebate program, essentially. We can participate in a program that basically manages the efficiencies and the functionality of the controls within our building. And because we're at a certain level, we're eligible for this rebate program, so to speak, which is that savings that you see in the middle. So we get the extra benefit of participating in this program, But with this rebate, our cost to Siemens remains fairly consistent of what we've been paying over the years.
And what was the acronym that you were looking for again? The initial.
RTEM. Richard Thomas Edward Michael.
Yeah, I'm failing to come up, but I think it's energy management on the end of rate of return or something like that. But what I'll do is I'll get that from Mike, and then we'll get that.
It is a program offered through NYSERDA as part of their energy programs. But yes, like as Dr. Douglas said, we'll get that specific meaning of the acronym and get that to you.
Real-time energy management.
Very good, Sue.
Google.
So on 9.07, the change fund, just a brief explanation of what is entailed there.
Sure. So this is a resolution we pass on an annual basis to create this change fund for the high school. So when they're selling tickets, they have a pot of money to make change when they begin to make their sales. It's all reconciled at the end and documented and accounted for.
And then on 9.10, the CME agreement, could you just summarize what the CME means? I read through and it says it does a lot of special inspections, but I don't know what that vocabulary means.
So CME is the name of the company. We actually have also hired them as part of the high school project. We're now hiring them as part of the middle school project. Tom maybe can more eloquently say it than I can, but they do soil inspections. As they're doing the parking lots, they do borings to test the soil for impaction, things of that nature. Mike Coughlin could probably explain it a little better, but it is related to soil testing.
And then lastly, I'm going to vote no on 9.03, the health and welfare contract. I know Katie has explained why they come late, and I had to live with the fact that the norm would be for them to come in February or March or even April, but this one didn't even come within the school year. So I'm sure there may be a reason, but
yeah,
not even making it within the school year, pretty tough.
Completely understand that point. This one, does have a backstory. It did come in February. The enrollment roster that we were provided from Elmira had a lot of incorrect information, either students missing that should be on the list or students included on the list that should not. So we were working through that with them, and then the whole COVID shutdown happened, which delayed things even longer. Things got back in business. There was a delay in communication. So yes, this one is excessively late. I can't dispute that.
CME stands for Construction Materials Evaluation Associates. So they're just a test that they've just abbreviated that they're a testing agency.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions on 9.02 through 9.10? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. And any abstentions? Okay, moving on to item 10, human resources for action. We have 10.02 through 10.04. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? Marianne? You're on mute.
Okay, I have a question. I noticed on the pages that have the coaches and everybody listed, that there are people who are listed as unpaid. So I'm assuming they're volunteers. And I just wonder how, what is the process? Do they fill out an application to help in that, realm? Are they, mostly parents, former coaches, former teachers? How do we come up with that group that are being assisting, working with our students and athletes, and yet they're being unpaid? Is there a process that they're selected?
They are volunteers, and they do apply through the athletics department. And Bert Conklin meets with them and selects them.
Okay, thank you.
And they also go through all sorts of training similar to what our paid coaches go through. So they have all the necessary certifications to work with the children.
Okay, do they do the fingerprinting as
They
well?
do.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to note that I need to abstain on item L for the winter coaching appointments, item L, and it's number 28, because my husband as one of those unpaid volunteer coaches for wrestling. Brian?
Under section O, under the HR recommendations, I think it's for marching band. My sister, who's a teacher, is number 12, and number 13's her husband, my brother-in-law, so I'll abstain on those two, O12, O13.
Okay. Dan?
Thank you. I have a question in regard to the coaching appointments. I note that the stipend is listed as TBD for all of them, and this is probably most relevant to the fall, recognizing none of us know exactly what is going to be coming in the fall. But I mean, I know we had sort of the unexpected shutdown and then some issue with stipends for the spring in terms of what would be paid. I'm just wondering if is the intent it's just TBD because we'll sort all that out, or from a contract and discussion with the union perspective, are we trying to prepare for avoiding a similar issue over the extent of the stipends, given the uncertainty as to the seasons?
Yes to all. Basically, Dan, in here we also put an asterisk for all, including even extracurricular, because we have to make the appointments, but we can't guarantee that they're going to be even finalized or finished. If they do the work, we will pay the stipend amount. The problem is right now we don't even know the length of the seasons yet, which is part of the calculation for most of the coaching, so that makes it difficult. So you'll see it again once we know, but we also put in here sort of a notification to all that the HR item, and as well as any position in the district, is conditioned on whether or not we have the ability to go forward and the COVID-19 pandemic. So we maintain all of our flexibility. But once we tell them, we will enter into those conversations to let them know what they will get paid if they perform this work.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor of 10.02 through 10.04, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All nay, or all those opposed, say nay. And the abstentions, the ones we have are on L28 for myself, and then Brian for O12 and O13. Any other abstentions? Okay. Moving on to item 11, our miscellaneous items for action. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
So we have 11.02 and 11.03. Any comments or questions? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. And any abstentions? Okay, so no board policies to review tonight. So we'll move on to item 14 for board member comments. Any comments from any of our board members? Brian?
Just thanks, Christine. Just a quick comment. I want to thank the two new board members for running a couple months ago or whatever it was, a month ago. It's been a weird spring. It's been a weird summer. But thanks for joining the board. And, I think it's going to be a super challenging year. A lot of variability, a lot of unknowns, but it's good to have 2 new faces and 2 new board members. So thank you for putting in all the time, the future time that you will this next year. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Marianne?
I'd like to welcome our 2 new board members. I'm looking forward to working with both of you. I'd also like to congratulate Christine and Brian on being our leadership team. I know they both will do a wonderful job. And looking forward to a new year and hope it's not going to be quite as traumatic as this past.
Thank you, Marianne. Najib? Najib, we can't hear you. You were unmuted, but we still can't hear you. No, can't hear you. Or I can't, at least. I don't know. Okay. Send an email. Any other comments? Dan? You're on mute, Dan.
Dang it, I wasn't gonna do that.
You almost made it the whole meeting.
That's stupid. No, I just want to echo my fellow board members' comments. Congratulations to our leaders and a very, very warm welcome to our new board members. Great to have you. Thank you.
Najib? Still can't hear you.
Najib, could you just put your thumb up if you're using the Surface? Okay. The reason why I was asking was because Shayla had to get off because her Surface overheated all of a sudden on Zoom. So that's what I was wondering. We're experiencing a couple issues.
Any other comments? So I would like to echo the welcome for both Tom and Najib. Thank you very much for running for the board, and we definitely welcome you. This is definitely unprecedented times, and we hopefully will be able to be face-to-face versus doing everything virtual. I know I miss seeing everybody in person, so I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get back to normal times here in the very near future. And then the other thing I'd like to say is I just want to thank the district again for graduation. I know that at our last board meeting, we hadn't had the live ceremonies yet. We did have 2 extremely successful live ceremonies on Friday the 26th. As a parent of one of the graduates, I was just so grateful to be able to have that live ceremony. It was very sad for me that there were only 100 students that ended up wanting to participate in that, but for those students that did, I know, Tom's daughter was there and Brian's daughter was there, and it was just really special to be able to see those students graduate live. So, and I think, and we've said it at previous board meetings, but I just want to reiterate everything that the district did from every person involved. And I know there's countless people involved, but everything that was done with the virtual tassel turn and the videos and the banners and the drive-through and then culminating with the live ceremony. It was definitely spectacular, and we really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Okay, so I think we are done. So I'd like to open up for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. And any abstentions? Okay, all right, well, thank you all very much. Whew, got that one.
Well done. Well done.
It's kind of nervous,
This now concludes the reorganizational meeting of the Horseheads Board of Education for the 2020-2021 school year, as well as the regular business meeting for the July month of the school year. Our next meeting will be August 10th at 6 o'clock at night. board members look that we may be doing an online, just a mini retreat to go over Board of Education evaluation once we can coordinate when everybody's available. So other than that, we will see you on Thursday morning with a hard hat and maybe some coffee or something, what everybody would like, and then we'll take a tour of all the happenings at the high school. Thank you.